Hello there, Lavinda. Hello,
Hello,
folks.
Mr. Vernon Watson,
I,
WBQP TV. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. You just froze on me, but that's okay. Stuff will happen. Technical stuff will happen. So, welcome back to another Wind Down Wednesday, Sugar. I miss you.
Yay. Yes, that's 2 weeks in a row. We're on the ball, huh?
Yeah, we got to get Wind Down Wednesday back up and running. I'm so glad that you find time for me. You since you got so many multiple
No,
relationships that's going on. You don't have find time for me anymore, but that's okay. We're gonna
I
talk
think that's
about that
the other
tonight.
way
Let's talk about
around.
multiple relationships. Say again. You still with me, Lavender?
See that?
Okay. What do you say? I'm waiting on you.
I think we're
Now, oh, you
I think we're
busy
talking
doing
over
something.
each other. Oh, I think it was you. I think it's you that put me down. You're the one that's busy. You're extremely busy with your big time TV station and everything. I'm just a little Facebook Live person. So I thank you for finding the time for
Hmm.
me and allowing me on your platform. Yes, I
Hmm.
feel impotent now.
You feel impotent. I'm impotent. Yes, sir.
I am going
So
to
how,
share this. I'm going to share
okay.
this right quick. Are you sharing
Yeah, mine is
on your pages?
I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Hmm. When you
Okay,
saying
I'm going to
sharing,
share it on
I
my
guess
page also.
I,
And thank you, everyone, for joining us for another Wind Down Wednesday. And as you said, Vernon, our topic is multiple mates.
multiple. Let's talk about multiple mates. Is that okay with you? I know you can. That's something you can probably talk on all night.
Yeah, that's. Oh, goodness. Multiple mates
You
sounds
know. You
pretty
know.
good
You
right
know.
about now.
Huh? You mumbling under your breath, so you. I know you got a lot of things you doing at the same time. Only get you see let you get in control. Put you in control, like and I'm gonna rip you like you used to rip me when I was doing the control panel. What are you doing? You ain't all right. You know, see how you always see. You ain't paying no attention to me. You ain't looking at me. You ain't doing. So what are you doing, Lavinda? You texting your boyfriend or something?
That's so,
Hey, you better pay me
that
some
is
attention.
so
But anyway,
funny.
while you doing
I'm
that, I understand.
sharing.
I know you sharing, but while you sharing,
Yeah, so
let
you
me tell folks.
understand now.
Yeah, let me tell folks what we're doing. Good evening, people. We're back on Wind Down Wednesday. Thank you for being here with us. And while the vendor is trying to share and get it out to everybody, I just want to let you know we're back. We never really been anywhere, but Lavender been so busy lately, and she's had multiple things, probably multiple mates that she's been dealing with since we hadn't since we've been on a hiatus here, and but we're back, but we're back, and we're going to talk about multiple mates tonight and what people feel about multiple mates, and is it realistic to maintain multiple relationships, or I don't want to get it. I don't know. I know Lavenda's a church lady, and she probably want to talk about the the moral issues of multiple mates. But one of the things that I always contend is that you know in legally you can't have multiple mates legally. That means you can't have more than one wife. But we as men, so I'm talking collectively, we as men got around that. Instead of being married to them, we choose side pieces and other women and all that other kind of stuff to run to beat the law. So there are multiple mates. Now I know folks saying, you talking about that multiple. You ought to be the shame of yourself, and it ain't right and that kind of stuff. But is it realistic, Lavender?
Oops, I'm sorry.
Is it multiple mates? Is that a
No,
real
it's
thing?
not.
It's not a real thing. There's no such thing as a
It's a
multiple
real
mate.
thing.
It is or is not.
It is. It is such thing as multiple. As I turned my phone off, that was not one of them. Um, there is such a thing. And you know what?
Okay.
Topic. The first thing I thought about was that is why there is a so-called shortage of men
Right.
because they've got multiple mates. So
Okay.
I don't believe there's a shortage of men, maybe a shortage of available men because
Mhm.
you all have multiple mates. So there's just not enough to go around. But that is a true concept, and it's sad. Sad but true. Sad but
Okay.
true.
Well, let's
But you know
explore.
what?
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead. You say I know what now?
kind
Lavender, you
of
still with me?
funny.
You still with me?
Hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. I hear you just
Can you
fine.
hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
I hear you
good. I
fine.
don't know what's wrong. Well, you know, I live in the country. I'm out in the woods. Out in the woods. So, but back to the multiple mates. It's amazing to me that women will say put up with, tolerate sharing a man or their man having multiple mates. But I guess everybody has their own, to each his own, if they're okay with sharing.
Hmm.
But I think the important thing is the honest. If you're going to have multiple mates, those mates need to know. Those mates
No.
have a right to know.
Okay. Okay. Now, you remember that
Agree?
article I wrote about man sharing in your magazine?
Yes.
He-
Yes.
Okay, you can recall that article, but that's a reason, uh, Lavender. For I guess I'm hearing some background noise. I don't know where it's coming from. Me, me, or you, but I'm hearing some background noise in it anyway. But anyway, that article I wrote about man sharing, there's a lot of facets to that. Okay, and the reason why this exists, that people have multiple mates. Now, men are not the only one that have multiple mates. Women have multiple mates as well, Lavender. Okay, even though there's an overabundance of women, but they still sometimes have multiple mates. Not on the same ratio, I think, as men do, but I think women do. But that's a good reason. I think that's a good reason why men have multiple mates. I'm not talking about for women. If man sharing wasn't a I was trying to see here. Suggested audio stream. We're having some technical difficulties here, Miss Lavenda. I'm trying to see if in fact, I'm on YouTube. Are we coming through on YouTube, Lavenda? Well, I hope we are.
I am.
Okay, you are. Okay, but anyway, they said
Mhm.
the stream. They said the audio stream bit rates is lower than recommended bit rates. So we recommend that you use an audio stream bit rate of 128. Open the widgets. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to the subject at hand because we're just trying to work out some technical stuff here. But I do hear some humming in the background. I don't know whether we can hear that through
Humming.
the
I
air.
hear some humming also.
Yeah. And I don't know whether it's you or me. I want to cut my mic off for a
It's
minute.
probably me
Yeah. Okay.
when I touch
But
my
anyway,
mic. Here. Is it me? Vernon?
I'm not sure. Lavender, I'm not sure where it's coming from, but but I do hear it. And if you can hear it too, right? I
I
can't
do
pinpoint it
hear
on
it.
I can't pinpoint it on my end here.
It's probably me. I'm sure it's me.
Okay. Well, we'll see. But we want to continue the conversation. Not something you did that just
Yes.
kind of went away for a minute. Okay. All right. One of the things I think, Lavender, the reason for multiple mates is because women, women wouldn't have a man if they didn't if they didn't share sometimes. Don't you believe
Mm.
that? Because the number of women, because of the number of women opposed to the number of men, it's just obviously to me it might not be a bad thing. It might not be a good thing when we talk about multiple mates, but it's not a bad thing either, I don't think. So you agree, do you agree that it's more women, available women than available men?
I think there's someone for everyone. I do.
Even
I
though that
do.
someone
I think there's, even though what?
even if that someone that even if that someone, Lavender, has the same one. You know what I'm saying? At one person, you said there's somebody for everybody, right? And if you got
Yeah.
five women, if you got five women, when that one person, that one man might be the someone for them five women. You understand? You understand my logic? So that's someone.
That's not logic. That's an excuse to have your cake and eat it too. That's not logic.
Okay,
That's not
tell me
logic at
why.
all.
Why isn't it?
I just did. It's an excuse to have your, but now this is the logic. I don't believe a man is ever satisfied with one woman. That's my personal view. I don't think a
Hmm.
man is ever satisfied with. A man needs um, a lover, a companion, a friend. You all just are needy. You're needy beings, and you need all of those roles filled. And if you can't get them in one woman, you'll go find another woman to fill that need. Like, and I have been experienced that where a man, a friend of mine, married, and his wife just was not business minded. She just wasn't tuned to a business. But you know, that's all me. Business, business, business,
Hmm.
business. So he always wondered, okay, well, where do I get that from? Well, if a man can't find it in his wife, he's going to go seek it. It's almost like a need. So a woman has to be everything for her man. She's got to be his queen, his lover, his freak when he wants one. You know, that's just a lot of energy for a woman. There's a lot of energy, but a man is never satisfied. Never. He's got what's the word? I can't even think of the
Morning.
word. Just a never ending appetite for sex and women. That's just a native
Okay.
beast.
So you're saying, I'm going to rephrase what I thought I heard you say. You saying that the man have a need, not a want, but a need to have multiple women. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think it might be on to something,
No,
Lavender.
I didn't say a need for multiple women. Those roles have to be filled. And if that one woman does not feel those roles, he will go outside of the relationship to fill that need that he has. So
Okay.
that song, I'm Every Woman, is a reason. It's a reason for that song.
Every woman. So do you believe that
A
a
woman
woman
wants to
can be
be
every? You believe that
every woman.
a woman can be every woman?
If she wants to be, yes. If she wants to be, but most women will admit that they have not found a man who's worthy of her exerting herself to be every woman for him, because they're never satisfied. You can be the
I
most
know, but
beautiful, caring, loving, supportive woman, have a man. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you do, or how much money. He's just not going to be satisfied.
I know, but she can. It's almost impossible, in my view, that she could be every woman. You know why? Because she would never know what it, what the man what his ever needs are. He probably never gonna tell her what his ever needs are. Okay. Now, what you doing over there, Levin? You
Well, that's
doing
where the
something?
communication comes in.
Okay. So
I'm
whatever
not
you
doing
touching,
anything.
sometimes that hum go away, and sometimes it don't. Some whatever you touching over there.
Oh, well, you just want me
That,
to be, you don't want me to move.
no, I want you to move.
I think
Yeah.
if I touch the table, it affects Mike. See, that's
Yeah.
that need you have. Now you want me to be a doggone statue, but
Yeah.
you
I
want me to
want you.
move also. I can't do both.
Exactly. Yeah, you can. You flexible enough. You flexible enough to do it. So let me
Oh
ask you this
my
thing, Lavender.
goodness.
Let me ask you this about multiple mates. Now, if you're saying that women, there are more women than men. Now, let's talk.
I
First
didn't
of
say
all,
that.
you never said that. What did you say?
There's a shortage of men. There may be a shortage of available men, but I believe there's someone for everyone.
Okay, what do you mean about that? Explain that. Available men.
There's enough people in this world, all the people in this world, how many people are in this world? And you're saying that I can't find one person? I may have to leave my city, my state. I may have to leave
Well, wait,
a couple
I
of
did
them,
some.
but I believe there's somebody out there for everyone.
Well, Lavender, I did some
You
research on
disagree?
that. Yeah, I do disagree in one way. I did some research on that, right? And poor black women always come in
Mhm.
deadly heat last. Now, even just for the ratio of men to women in the world, okay? Obviously, women outnumber men in the world, just in general speaking, okay? Now, when
Okay.
it comes when it comes to mates, okay? Now, I researched it and I broke it down in terms of black and white, in terms of white men and black men, or white women and black women. Okay, let's say black women. There was
Hmm.
a 90 percentile availability for white women to white men. There was at least a 90% available availability of white men for white women. Okay, what you guess what it was for black men? Can you guess? Or you cut out on me?
Uh, I cut
It was
out.
on.
What was the
It was
question?
what was the available? I was asking since it was 90 percentile availability for men, white men to white women. Now the question was, what do you guess the availability for black women to black men, percentile wise?
The percentage of black women to black men.
Men, you're right. The availability of black men. What percentile you think that was
Gosh, I have
available to
no
black men?
idea.
It
It's
was in the
probably
60s.
low. It's
Yeah,
probably low.
it was
Okay.
in the
I was
it
going to
was in
say
the high
50.
Yeah, it was in the high. It was actually it was in the high 60s. But compare that to white
Okay.
men's availability for their women. The black white men was a 90% in the 90 percentile more available for white women, and only for black women, men was only available for 60. I think it was like 68%. I can't remember now when I did the research, but I got it written somewhere. In fact, I wrote about that in my book, and so with that given, having said that, okay, women and people ask the question, why is that? Okay, because it's a lot of good reasons for that. Number one, black women outnumber black men in general. And number two, black men have so many challenges that white men don't have because the incarceration rate of black men are very high, which they not those locked away are not available. The those that not interested in women, one that they're gays, that you got to factor that number in there as
Right.
well. And
Right.
so a lot of factors that goes into the reason why black men are not as available to black women as white men are available to white women. Okay. Now, given those
Mm-hmm.
given those uh, statistics, okay, that is the reason I think. And also the other factor is then all the available black men, okay, all the available black men, okay, then you still have other challenges because you got some just no good black men, just sorry, and uh, and just don't want to do right, okay. And so you got to weed those folks out too because a woman, a black woman is looking for a good man. Okay, she can't have a sorry man. She don't want a sorry man. She wants somebody that you would want to say equally yoked to her. Okay, and that's interesting to find. So that means the availability is not there. Now, if let's assume for 1 second, okay, but let's assume for 1 second if there were equal number of black percentage wise. Now, the equal number of, let's say, for out of every 100 women, there's only 68 men available. Okay, out of every 100 women. Okay, now let's assume that all of these women competing for these 68 men, and if you only had monogamy just one on one, then 68. Now, how many we got left? Then we have what 32 women going to be left without a man. Okay, and then we can weed some of those out as well. As far as you're talking about, some of them might be gay, they might not be interested in a man, and so forth. But those availabilities, and so if it wasn't for multiple relationships, okay, some of those women would not enjoy the pleasures of a man. Would you agree with that? And so, in that light, why wouldn't that is not? That's what I think justifies sometimes multiple relationships. And I heard you say just a few minutes ago, you're not questioning the moral of it, but you saying that it's just not. I guess you're looking at the image of it. I guess now you just looking at the image of it, and I don't know. Should those remaining women not have a man? Should not share a man? Should they just go through life without one?
I still don't believe that she couldn't find a man. It might be like you said, she doesn't want a sorry man, but there are enough. I don't.
Okay.
I
Can I
believe
say
there's
this?
enough people in this world. Go ahead.
Okay. Here's what I'm driving at. Okay. Out of every 100 men, there's only 68 men. Keep that in mind. 68 men for every 100 women. Okay. Now you number 69, right? But the man you want is among the 68. Okay. But because the cutoff number is at 68, why should you not enjoy a man, share a man, so that you can have a man? You know what I'm
You
saying?
said the key word, Vernon, the man that I want. That's the key word, the man that I want may
He is
be
among
taken,
he
but there
he
are
is
other
among
men
he is among
available.
I know, but he's among the 68, right? That you want. He's among the 68, but you're not among 68. You number 69. You could be number 100. You could be number 92, but you're not among the 68. Okay,
I'm not
so go ahead.
sure
Your
if
mic is not
that's a
working.
mutual decision, but that's what I said in the beginning. It has
Hmm.
to be honesty in it. If you're going to have multiple dates, that needs to be agreed in the man saying or the woman saying, okay, well, there are several women out there who don't have a man. I'm going to meet their needs. I'll be their man. No, that's not your responsibility. That's not your responsibility to take care of the needs of other women outside of your relationship. You know, just
But Lavender,
stay where you are on your path.
Lavender,
You don't have to go out there and be everybody's sexual savior and meet their needs because they don't have anyone. There are men out there. They may not be the man that she wants, but like I said, you may have to leave your city or leave your state or some different places. You have to go outside of your comfort zone. You may have to go outside of your race. But if you choose to share a man, then that's their decision. But most women do not want to share a man. They have no desire for a committed relationship. Because if you're in a relationship with someone who's already committed to someone, you know there'll never be a commitment there with you. It'll never be a full commitment. You can't commit to two women. You can't commit to two men. You just can't do it. It's just
why do you have to?
somebody's lacking. Somebody
Why would-
get the short end of the stick.
But even if it was monogamous, somebody's gonna be lacking. Okay, you can't. Nobody can ever fulfill everybody's needs anyway. So it's gonna be some lacking. I don't care what you do and how you say it, Lavender. But
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm gonna get back to what you said just a few minutes ago. Okay, you're not. These women are not fulfilling the man's needs, not per se. They're fulfilling their own needs. They have a need to get a man. He already got a woman. Okay, and so he's just obliging her. He's helping her out, basically, right?
That's not his
And she
job. Who made him the obliged sex king? Sit down somewhere. Nobody asked you to come
she asked
and
him.
fulfill all the lonely hearts out there. Oh,
Yes,
she's
they did.
asking.
She's asking.
Okay, well,
She's
there's a
pursuing
third
him.
party
But
involved.
you know,
There's a
but you
third
know,
party involved. There's a third party involved. If you are going to oblige her and be her man, that woman that you are already with needs to agree. Because then it's not an obliging, you're just cheating now. So if you cannot be fully committed to one, or you feel like you need to meet the needs of all the lonely hearts out there, you're just a cheater. You're not craziness. But if all parties agree, this is like the man with 4 or 5 wives and they all live in the same household. They agree on that. But to go behind someone's back and say, you know what, I got 3 women. I got to meet the needs of these 3 women. You're fooling yourself. That's your fantasy because nobody can commit to 2 or 3 women. We have a comment here. I guess she
okay.
was basing it on the statistics that you gave. She said she's
Uh-huh.
going to have about 10 of those 68.
Say it again. You cut out. She gonna have 10 of those 6 8 what men?
She's going to have 10. Do you have your comments on? She's going to
No, I
have
don't.
10 of those 68 men coming after her based on the
Okay.
statistics that you shared.
She gonna have 10 men. Is that what she's saying? More power to you, baby.
Hmm.
I can be. She want me to get in that list. No,
Yeah.
no. She got to be 10. Well, okay, that's fine. If she got those 6 8, she gonna get 10 of those. More power to you, sugar. That's what I'm talking about. See, it ain't just me. It ain't just men guilty of this stuff.
You're right. You can't cheat by yourself. You got to have, yeah, it takes two. Yeah,
Well,
men
that's
are not cheating by themselves. It's the women
well,
in it also.
well, that's what I'm saying to you now. Going back to what you're saying, you talking about it has to be agreed. It is agreed to some degree, but to many,
To
how
some
can you
degree, there
imagine?
is or
I know,
not.
but
There's a
can you
degree
imagine?
of
I would love that. I would love for women to say, okay, okay, you can go out and find you another woman, two or three of them, bring them on home. I would love it, but it just don't work that way in this. They do it anyway, but it just don't work as succinctly as you're trying to say it works. You're never gonna get that agreement because everybody's selfish. And now, if you see these shows are talking about sister wives and stuff like that, I think that's ideal.
Yeah.
I think if the law were to allow polygamy, what's your word? Polygamy, whatever that big word is, I can't call off the top of my head. If they were to allow that, then you see a lot less lonely women out there, or lonely men, because it can go both ways.
Well, it can go both ways. It can go both ways, Vernon, but still, that doesn't make it right. Just because it's happening doesn't make it right. But that's why tires get slashed. That's why.
Venda, I know, but
that's why hearts get broken.
Y'all get hooked up into the moral issue of it. If you ever get past the moral issue,
into the what?
Y'all get hooked.
Oh my God! Who wants to get past the moral? Who wants to get past the moral issue, Vernon?
Nobody.
Why do you want to get past the moral issue? Shouldn't that be the issue? The morals?
The morality of it? No.
Where are the morals with the multiple mates? Get past. Let me write it down. He said, "Get past the moral issues."
Moral. Yeah.
You realize what you said?
Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, Lavenda. Where is it written that is immoral to have more than one woman or more than one mate? I'm not going to keep it to just a woman, but more than one mate. Where is it written that it's immoral to do that? Did we just?
I don't think it's written anywhere. But you know what? Let me put it this way. I don't think it's written anywhere. When I think about this vast universe, all the people in the world, all the different countries, the cities, the states, are you telling me that we're supposed to have one person out of this big sea of people, this big world, this big universe, all the different nationalities, we're supposed to have one person, and don't you dare talk to anybody else. You found your one, and you're going to be with that one for the rest of your life. All these people in the world. Now, that's what gets me. So, but I'm not saying I agree with the whole multiple mates, but I believe there's someone for everyone. You may have to go outside your comfort zone. Your wants and your needs, are you willing or wants to have a significant other? For one, there is no perfect person. Multiple mates, there's going to be something wrong with them anyway. With all 2, 3, however many you have, it's going to be something wrong with all of them. So if you want to take that on, all that baggage, that's a personal decision. But one is enough. But there's no way. Men usually lie anyway when they say they got 2 or 3 women, they satisfying, they doing this. That's a lie. You all are not capable of doing that. You're not physically capable of doing that, of satisfying 2 or 3 women. If you are, you're lying.
Well,
because you can't satisfy one.
Like I keep telling you, you're not a man, so you would never understand, because that's necessarily not true. But I want to get back to what you were saying earlier.
That is true.
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, Don. Okay, you saying on one hand, you saying with all the people in the world, why should we have one-on-one? And then the next minute you're saying, well, we only should have one-on-one. Which is it? Which side are you taking?
I'm not taking sides. I'm just communicating. I'm sharing thoughts. We're talking. I'm not taking any side.
Okay.
When I was a married woman, yes, be faithful. One person.
Okay. When you're not married, what's the standard then? Okay. Let's talk about that.
Now I see. Okay, it's a whole bunch of men out here. It's a whole bunch of men out here. But
oh, look, advertising now.
choice to remain single for that mere fact. If you're going to get in a committed relationship, this is just how, these are my morals, those moral issues that you want to look past. My moral issues say, if you're with someone, you are committed to that one person. But because there are so many people in the world, you got to be eyes straight. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't establish communication with anybody or relationships. I mean, if you go to work, you're going to establish some working relationships. What most affairs begin in the workplace. So why put that on that one person where they got to feel like, okay, I can't talk to this person, I can't go out to lunch with that person? That seems, it's like a restriction. But that has nothing to do with multiple mates. Just don't be committed to no.
You must don't hear yourself talking. You talk 1 minute, you talk one on this side of your mouth. Other minute, you contradict on the other side of your mouth. I don't get that.
No.
Why you whining?
I'm just sharing my
thoughts,
Bernie, which is why I'm single. No, I'm sleepy as hell. You're the one that want to start this shit at o'clock at night.
I think you're drunk when you're talking like that.
No.
You're talking like you're drunk.
My goodness,
but anyhow, it's just be serious about it. Okay, these are real issues out there. Dealing with, no, you're not, because you're not taking it seriously, because there are
no, I'm taking it very serious.
The real world is that these things happens in the real world. Okay, now you saying,
it is sad.
Can I ask you a question? You saying, I can understand what you're saying about if you are married, because this is the society we live in and these are the laws we establish. You're saying that if you're married, then you should respect the sanctity of marriage and have a one-on-one relationship.
Yes.
Okay? I cannot disagree with that. Okay.
Yes.
And that's when the one-on-one. Now, what about if you're single? Okay. If you're single, what's the limit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or when you're into a relationship with somebody, should you have more than one relationship? Forget about the legality.
Why can't you just have friends? Why do you have to be in a relationship? Why do you have to call it why can't we just be friends? Why can't you have multiple friends? Why you got to be coupled? Why you got to be tied down? Why you got to be
no, but how do people get married? They're gonna eventually establish a one-on-one kind of relationship. Okay.
Exactly. But they need to stay there.
I'm not talking about having friends like me and you are friends. I'm talking about friends with benefit, friends with that you care about, friends that you make love to. Friends.
It has to be a mutual respect, a mutual decision. That's where the communication comes in. They have to agree. Okay, we can have friends, but when it comes to sex, we want exclusivity. Is that how you say it? Exclusivity. We want to be exclusive in here. But I don't believe in just sleeping around and no, and all parties are not aware of it. Well, we have a comment here. Larry Howard says, he says, I don't think there's one soulmate.
Are you crazy? Are you think you're gonna share that with your other? If you had multiple friends, you think you're gonna share that? If you had multiple friends, even if you wasn't sleeping with them, right now, I probably couldn't have a close female friend and have a relationship with them. I can have people like you from a distance, but I can't have a female friend that I can hang out with whenever I want to, because I'm married. And
that doesn't seem right.
Well,
because you're married, right? Because you're married.
Let's forget about that. Let's assume, for the sake of our argument here, okay? Let's assume that I was single. Okay, let's assume I was single for a minute. Okay, and I had a girlfriend, and then I had 4 or 5 other close friend girls. Okay, that's why I want to distinguish it. A girlfriend and 4 or 5 friend girls. Okay, but my friend girls, just like my friend girls, It's just like my buddies. I hang out with them. We go to the club together. We get drink together. We have a good time. Now, don't you know that girlfriend is not going to like that? Okay, so you cannot. She gonna draw a line in the sand. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be me, or them. It's gonna be me as a girlfriend, or those friend girls. One of us has to. One of us has to go. They're not gonna agree to that, even if you tell them that. So you know that. So it sometimes
Which is why,
sometimes it's better
exactly,
unsaid.
that's true. No, which is why I'm single. But those are those moral issues that you want to look past. So we're just going to have to agree to disagree
What we disagreeing about?
and have my friends. What you just said. And you mentioned at the
Okay,
beginning
you
of the
would you will
show
all
where me
that's
and found a
you.
way around that to have
You don't. In other words, what you're
to
saying to me is that you don't want to have a special friend. You just want to have multiple friends. You don't want to. You don't nobody special and right. You don't want nobody you can have sex with. You don't want somebody you can love and cubby to and stuff like that. You just want to have a bunch of guys just hanging around you, just like just your friend. Is that what you're saying to me?
the way. Yes, just have some good friends. I mean, I have that now. I have that now. It is possible. You can just have friends and not be sleeping around all over the place.
I know, but
Everything
at
is not
some
about
point,
sex, Vernon,
at
even though there are
yes, it is.
needs.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, you know
At
what?
one point, at some point in your life, you're
Everything
gonna
is
want to
not
have.
about
At one point in your life, if you know, if you normal,
well,
you're gonna want to have sex, and at one point in your life, you're gonna want to have somebody to hold you in your arms and stuff like that. Okay, so if you don't, I have to question that.
no.
Okay,
Been there,
I'm
done
talking about.
that.
I'm talking about.
I've
I
already
ain't, I
had
ain't
all of
talking.
that.
I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about women, other women. Okay, normal women, not the exceptional woman like you. I'm talking about normal. Most women that fits in that. We talk about that bell curve. That bell curve where most of the 80% of the women fits in. There's a bell curve where the 80% fits in
Yeah,
there. Then
yeah.
on one end you got
Okay,
one extreme, and the other end you got the other
I
extreme.
agree with you
I don't
there.
know which you on there.
I, at some point in a woman's life, in the average woman's life, she's going. That's a human need. You're going to want physical touch. You're going to want to
Right,
be held. You're going to want to be loved. You're going to want to be validated. You're going to want all of that. Yes,
right.
I agree with that. That's true. But then there's men and women who have made a choice to remain single that are
Okay.
okay with,
You looking at
they've
you
made a
looking at
decision to not have that in their life.
okay. Now
Huh?
Larry, you looking at Larry Howard's comment? You see Larry's comment? Larry says it's like
Yes.
when the spouse dies and you get remarried, you find another soulmate or someone to love again. Right on, Larry.
Yeah.
Lavender
And
ain't
his
being real nice
previous
to me.
comment was that he didn't think there was
He,
one
he said, I don't think
soulmate
there's,
for
yeah, he
someone.
said that. I
That's
don't
when
think
he
there's only
followed up with.
one soulmate. Yeah. Well, he making that case.
Here's another one. Why marry someone when you don't want commitment?
Total. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why marry someone when you don't
But you
want total
cannot, but you
commitment?
even,
And people know when they walk down the aisle. They know when they walk down the aisle about to make vows for the rest of their life that they are not able or capable of being committed for the rest of their life because they
that,
put
what,
those moral issues aside. They look past those moral issues. It's more
well,
life
Lavender.
than
Okay. It's at that moment in time, okay? At that moment in time,
uh-huh.
I think most folks think in their heads and in their mind that's what they want to do. They want that one-on-one relationship with that particular
That's what
person.
they want to
But
do in the moment.
but
Yeah,
in the
in the
moment,
moment.
but when you spend a little time with that person, okay, you find out, well,
You were
this
like,
is really
whoop,
not the
devils.
soulmate that I want. Okay, okay, and so you have to
Yes.
start off, and so you start
Or
all over
when
again.
that representative goes home, when that representative goes home, when you start unpacking that luggage, when you start taking off the mask, because you know a person until you start living with them. Then you realize, oh no, this ain't for me. But most people will stay because they've made that commitment. And they do believe in the sanctity of marriage. They believe in those vows that they made before God or whoever their higher power is, that they are going to stick with it through thick and thin.
Now, do you know? Do know now? The research I have done, they found that marriages is really on the decline in the world today. It used to be that
That marriages are what?
marriages on a decline. People are not opting to get married
Yeah,
anymore. People
yeah,
opting they're opting to pair up and just be together and shack up. We used to call it shack up, but they just opt to be together now. And where there's no, and I don't know, I still think you still have the same level of commitment.
cohabitating.
Yeah, cohabitate, but you still have the same level of expectation for a commitment, even if you
Hmm.
without that Bible saying that you should do this, and without the law saying that you should do this. You know what I'm saying? Without having a license, and
Yeah,
so I think that
right.
that's you still have the
And that's their
same heart.
choice.
Yeah.
But that's a choice that they make. And it's a mutual agreement. And I'm saying the same thing with the multiple mates. It needs to be a mutual agreement between two parties if they're going to go outside of the relationship.
Okay.
Because, you know,
Got a
if
question.
you are any kind of human being with the conscience, with the heart, and you love me, you say you love me, you made a commitment to me, and then you go outside the relationship and you build another relationship with someone. And here I am thinking, okay, we're one. But when you walk out the door, we're three. But I don't know about it. We're not one because you have someone, so it just don't make any sense to me. But it's a
Well,
decision
you
that
well
the
you're
parties
making
have to
some
make. So I
assumptions.
believe it's all about communication.
Well, but
I'm
Lavenda,
not
you're
making
still
assumptions. That's real
you
life. I've
no
lived
no
this. This is real life. And you know what,
no
Arden,
you
you
make it.
can validate it. No. I don't even know why we're talking about multiple mates. But
You
you know what?
you just
Because it
I'm
does exist. But you know what? Back in the day, that had two families. Back in the day, it was accepted. You have lived with one family and have another family across the road. That stuff was accepted. Remember, we talked about Fizz. Remember that scene in Fences with Denzel Washington and what's her name? And she
yeah,
confronted him about the
Viola
woman that he
Davis.
was seeing. And he was
Hmm.
saying, no, I'm not letting that go. I need that. You know what I'm saying? He was bold enough. And I don't know why talk like on social media. I'm like, did that just go over women's heads? What he said of all people, Denzel, but he told Viola Davis. He told her, "I'm not giving that up. I'm not giving that up." And she tolerated. Then he had a baby
Then she accepted
outside
and
of the
she broke
marriage.
and then she took the baby in and everything. So that's true
And
love,
she
Lavenda.
baby in. So you know
So she
what? Huh?
and now listen at this for a minute. Now even as even happening today, okay? Now that I got a saying that there's no such thing as a secret. Every wife, all wives know that their husband got somebody. They might not know who it is, but they probably know that their man got somebody else on the side or had somebody else on the side. Okay, and but they choose to stick it out. Okay,
Stay.
they choose to stick it out. So and because of the love for that person, maybe some other reason. It may be security, but they have a reason why they agree to it, acquiesce with it. Okay, and
It may
so
be fear. It may, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it might be. It have very sundry reasons on why people do what they do. But again, but it's happening, and it's
I
a real world, a
remember
real life situation.
when we I remember when I started working at the radio station. I just gotten separated, and I was telling you when it was time for me to file for divorce. I shared it with you, and you did everything in your power to get me not to divorce. You just found every reason why I should stay. Um, but it was a no for me. And that was my final answer. It was a no for me, but a lot of women do stay. A lot of women do stay. I know women today have been caught their husbands cheating um, multiple times and chose to stay.
Well,
This, it could be,
my
it
position
could
on
be
that,
anything.
Lavender, my position on that is if you were just people get out of a relationship for very reason. And he probably if he wasn't opening up. If they start opening up a can of whoop ass on you, then I'll always be first to say go. But if your reason for leaving him was because he was cheating, then you're just gonna jump out of the fire into the frying pan, or jump out of the frying pan into the fire because the next person you're gonna find is probably gonna still probably go through the same thing, and the next person after that one you're gonna probably go through the same thing.
He's
So you're
going.
not gonna,
There's going to be something else. It's going to be something with all of them.
yeah.
Right.
So
Stay where you are because you're going to, which again, personally, which is why I'm single. I'm not jumping out the skillet to get in another hot pan. I'm good. I'm good. I'm at peace. I'm happy. I'm content.
I
There's
bet you
no
that
way in the
pan is
world
simmering
that I
though.
would.
Hey, Levin, that pan is
That
simmering. You
what?
get with that pan start getting hot. You start getting hot. You want to get out of that pan, don't you? Ooh, let me jump. Let me jump.
I got
It's so
friends.
I got. I heard. Okay, okay.
But
I
what
hear
did you
you.
say? What did you say, Verna? You take matters into your own hand. But
Oh,
everything
you
is
talking
not
about
about
Bob?
sex. I'm
You
too
talking
busy
about
to be
Bob? Idiot?
thinking about sex
Well,
anyway.
so why you take matters in your own hands? That's the case.
I didn't say you trying to put words in my mouth now. I'm too busy. But then again, I'm not the average woman, so but someone
I
wrote an
know.
article on that. It was a single woman in her 50s, and she used a vibrator.
Hmm.
And she finally met someone, and he was unable to satisfy her. She was
Could,
so
could, could,
used to her vibrator.
yeah, he couldn't compete with that.
So
With that. With the
vibrator,
machines.
they brought the vibrator into the bedroom. And he even said, he was a part of the article, that his concern was that she was satisfied no matter what it took.
So why does she need him
And
then?
you even mentioned well, I'm sure Bob, her battery operated boyfriend, could not give her compassion, conversation. He
I
probably
love
gave her
you.
commitment,
You
but
couldn't say I love you back,
it's a
anything like that,
machine
right?
burning. But she's
Okay.
happy with him and Bob. I guess
Okay.
that could be
But
considered multiple mates, huh?
yeah, that
Look at this
I
comment.
don't.
When you said divorce is on the decline,
Uh-huh.
honesty is on the decline. I love
Honesty,
it. Honesty is
honesty
on the
never been,
decline.
and honesty never been rose. It's always
Huh?
been on the decline. Honesty has always been. Honesty
That's
is on the
sad.
decline. And he said honesty on the decline. Honesty never really been a factor.
Yes.
But honesty, but for real though, honesty, it might always be the best policy, but it's a good policy to start with. You can't you can't beat the truth. Okay, the truth might not always get you the desired result you want. It might not always be the best results, but the truth works in the long run. It really does. It works in the long run. So I wouldn't
It
even go
works
so
in the long and the short run. The truth
not
shall
necessarily.
set and
Okay,
handle the truth.
ex-
You know,
exactly. Okay,
but if you
you're
can't be
right. You're right. You're
honesty,
right. Okay,
honest.
well, okay. Hold on, Lavinda. You're right about that. Right, truth will set you free. Now let any married man go home tonight and say I've been having an
So
affair.
you said
And
if I
damn
tell
right they're gonna set his ass free. You're right.
the
You
truth
get the
shall
hell out of
set
here.
you. That
So
is
we
pathetic. That is so sad. Oh my goodness, the
if
truth shall
what
set you
would you
free.
if
Yeah,
your
you'll be
husband
free.
had a came home with you and told you I'm they gave you the Viola Davis uh gave you the Viola Davis talk the Denzel the Viola Davis talk say yeah I gotta know well obviously he probably didn't tell her about that relationship either. I don't know how she found out about it. I can't remember the movie but she obviously found out about it in some shape form or fashion
Yeah, yeah. Heard
and then
about it. Uh-huh.
she confronted him with it. But honest, see, honesty worked, and he admitted it. He didn't deny it. He didn't pretend like I'm going to stop the relationship and slip behind the back. He said I'm going to continue, and so she accepted it, and eh, truth worked in that case. Okay, truth worked. She didn't kill him or anything.
Hmm.
Now she had a. I think people when they get lied to, they put a little more. It's hard to. It's really hard to argue with the truth. It's easy to hard to argue with a lie because people they feel you feel more deceived if you lie about it than to tell the truth about it. Okay, so what do you
Yeah.
do with it? You when you
That's
tell the
the
truth about
ultimate trail for me.
right, right.
Well, you know what? When you tell the truth, you ain't got to remember nothing.
Well, that's true.
When you lie, you got to remember a whole bunch of stuff. You got to remember all the lies and the lie you told before that. But you know what? I am honest
To a fault.
almost to a fault. I just got to lay it out. You know, for me, life is just too precious. Time is too precious to live in a lie.
Yeah,
I want to be
it's true.
vulnerable. I want to be
It's true.
open. I want my, if I'm going to give you my heart, I shouldn't expect, but I would expect you to take care of my heart, especially when a
Right.
woman has already gone through shit with previous men, and then you're going to come with some more shit. You know what? I don't have time for that. So you take your little multiple mates and have some multiple parties on your own, but leave me out of it. I want to keep
Well,
my
we
moral issues. I don't want to look past my moral issues.
well
But you know
well.
what?
I would,
I've looked past them also, Vernon. Women give, I did. You know, adultery wasn't the reason that I divorced, but adultery was a part of our marriage. I looked past it more than once. I had to
yeah.
think about me. You know, it wasn't anymore about him, it was about me. So I would rather look forward in my life and be at peace and happy than stay in a marriage where I'm always wondering and there's no
Can
myself.
I ask you this?
Don't start me to sing.
Can I ask you a
Go ahead.
question then about that if you don't mind? And I
You
don't mean to
may.
get too personal, but if if in fact I'm just trying to get into the you like I said you knew about it right? You knew about the you
Uh-huh.
said it's not the main reason, but it was part of the reason why you got unmarried. Okay,
Uh-huh.
but you knew about it, but
Uh-huh.
you accepted it right to a point. To
Right.
probably don't
Right.
but I think what I hear you saying is, well, okay, I dealt with that. I accepted that. But then when you start piling up other stuff on top of that, more shit on top of shit on top of shit, you saying, then that's when I had to cut out and go. Now, let me ask you this question, okay? And be honest with you, if the only shit you dealt with was an affair, you didn't have that other shit. I don't know what the other shit is, but just assume the affair
Mm-hmm.
was the only shit that you had to deal with the relationship. Do you think you still been there?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh, that's just the ultimate betrayal for me. I can deal with a whole
Okay.
bunch of shit because there's not a perfect person. There's not
Okay.
a perfect person. It's going to be something
Okay.
like you said earlier.
Okay. Can I ask you this question? Are you saying to me that infidelity was the ultimate betrayal, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Now, I don't I don't really follow your logic because you knew about the ultimate betrayal 2 or 3 times before you decided to
Hmm.
call it quits, right?
I loved
And
him. I loved him. That's why women stay, Vernon.
well,
It's nothing to be
fidelity.
confused about.
I know that, but obviously, infidelity wasn't the ultimate thing. I think it was that plus more stuff and more stuff and more stuff it was
No,
the
no,
thing that
no, no. Well, see, then you got to you got to. One day, I'm going to share my story one day because I get asked a lot. 20 years. Why didn't you stay? Why did you walk away after 20 years? But like I said, it was no longer about him. It was about me because when I make a commitment to someone, I'm there. So I don't care what you do. We're going to work it out. We're going to get through this. I'm going to forgive. I'm forgiving. I'm being that loving wife. I'm being the Christian wife that I need to be. I'm going to hold you up. I'm going to support you. I'm that woman that will just knock you down and not be there and step over you and complain. No, I went above and beyond and I stayed and forgave. So when I did leave, I knew I was leaving with peace and left and I did my part plus some. So it wasn't anymore about him. It was about my self-worth, my dignity, love for myself, because I had given everything I had. And if you're not going to appreciate it, if you're just going to continue to knock me down and complain about what I do when I'm giving my all, you don't love think you love me, and a man will do just enough to keep you. And I'm sorry, I got a daddy who just filled my head with all kind of why men do this and the nature of a beast. I'd be a fool to get in another relationship. I'd be a fool to marry again. But then that same father told me, you may have to say I do again. And I'm thinking, Daddy, this is a conversation we had. After all you've told me, why would you say I might have to say I do? He said, well, if the man if the man is 99 years old and a billionaire, you better say I do. You better say I do. So, you never know what situation you will be in, but I'm good. And that was the whole the of the Other Woman magazine. Leaving a 20-year marriage was not about the marriage. It was about me. It was
you got
about
fed up.
me. So you can live
It
your
was
entire life. It was what?
that was the line drawn in the sand, right? When it to a point, you said this is not. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. You're saying I put it up with it because of you, but now this is because of me. I really get what you're saying there. Okay.
I wanted to love
Now I guess
me.
yeah. You did you feel like a part-time wife to a full-time side piece?
It was only one person in that marriage that was married,
That was
and
you.
that was me. That was me. So you know what?
You don't, but he was.
In
You
20
don't
years,
agree that he wasn't married part time?
part time.
Yeah, was he married part time in that marriage? Though he might not have been full
You
time.
have to ask him. I don't know what his thoughts were.
Okay. Well, men.
I was doing my part, but the nature of a beast. But what I want to say something to the women.
Okay.
We make choices. We make choices. A man only do what we allow them to do. So if you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, and you feel like you're going through hell and you're not happy, you can't blame anyone but yourself. The commitments, the vows, the God I serve told me to forgive and get the hell out. The God you serve may tell you to forgive. What is it? 70 times 7. Keep forgiving, keep forgiving. But you know what? The life I had ahead of me that was behind me. The time that I put into a relationship, a marriage, didn't compare to the life that I had ahead of me. We only get one life. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be at peace. I don't want to be looking around if is my husband somewhere? Is he with somebody? Is he somewhere embarrassing me or women talking behind your back? I don't want that for me. I don't want that. But we make a choice. But men will do what we allow them to do. Men wouldn't cheat if they didn't have women to cheat with. You know, so 20 years in being faithful in a marriage, I know what I bring to the table. I know what I bring to the table. I know I'm a good woman. So if you can't talk to me right, if you can't treat me right, if you cannot give me the respect that I give you, I'm happy by myself. I'm happy. Don't waste my time. I don't mind commitment, Vernon. Just don't waste my time with no bullshit. Don't waste my time. I'm in my 50s, headed towards 60. You get some time. Who's got time for some BS? I don't. I'd rather be by myself. Amen.
The whole purpose of the conversation, I want you to remember now, you can only speak for Lavinda, okay? I don't know about the rest of how the
story. That's my story.
Yeah, that's your story. You're gonna stick to it, okay? But can
yes.
kind of keep this in
Let's
mind,
invite a woman on.
Huh? I would love to invite a woman.
Let's invite.
I love invite 2 women. Really seriously, we should have other.
It'd probably be difficult to find a woman that will admit being in a marriage where she's not happy, or being in a marriage where she can't leave. All women can't leave, either financially or they want to stay for the children. You know, any reasons. I didn't leave until my boys had graduated. One was a senior. You know, I could have left a long time ago. I stayed for many reasons. But you're right. I'm speaking for myself. Every woman has a story, and you make your choice. Make your choices with your one life. But in the upcoming issue, there is a man sharing his story of his wife that was cheating on him. She was in the military. He was not a stay-at-home dad, but he was her dependent, and she wanted a divorce. She left him for another man. So it goes both ways. It's not always the man. Sometimes it's the woman. And he asked if he could share his story in the Other Woman magazine. By all means, let's expose the women too. You know, he was very hurt behind that. Hard-working, faithful man. Just not good enough. She wasn't satisfied.
But isn't that verifying what I just said earlier about the 68 and the 100? You got 68 women, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got 100. You got 100 women and 68 men, and which gives another woman reason because that same woman that got multiple men out of that 68, they got to leave less for that remaining 32. You hear what I'm saying? Women.
Yeah.
So it's a quagmire any way you put it, and so I think I don't know what the solution to it is. I would say let all men have as many women they want to. No complain about it, right? And we'll
To each his
we'll
own. How about that?
we'll let every woman have as many men they want to. Nobody. We have just a free fall. And but realistically,
Just
it's
to
not
make
gonna
a
work like that.
commitment if you're not ready to make a commitment.
Okay,
Just don't
what?
make a
Okay, hold on.
commitment if you're not
Okay,
ready for
Doctor.
a commitment.
Okay,
And
okay.
it's time to go. Your closing
You
word,
want we got
10:15.
we got we got to stay on the hour and a half hour, Lavender.
No,
Now,
no,
yeah, we
your
do.
closing words.
Okay,
No, we don't.
yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Go ahead, Vernon. I'm listening. Go ahead with your closing remarks.
All right. You breaking up because we didn't have a good audio. I can't hear you on yours sometimes, so you break up sometimes. But
Okay.
you make me
Go
you
ahead with your closing remarks.
make me lose my thought now. All of those six.
Don't blame your memory on
Uh,
me.
can I ask you a question, Lavender? Using my theory, okay? Using my statistics, okay? The 68 and the 100, okay? Are you? Well, you. I guess you would be in the 100. Are you in the 32? Or are you in the 68?
I'm
You understand?
neither. I don't want to be a part of no number game statistics. I'm neither, Vernon. I am
You
myself. I don't follow all
humor me,
that.
humor me. Just say if you wasn't. I'm not talking to you personally, but if you were you, what will you be at? If you was in your situation, okay? I'm talking to another woman. I'm not talking to you. If you was in your situation, how would you see yourself? You would see yourself in the 68 or in the 32. If given that you was
Remind me what the
humanity,
68. Remind me what those. Remind me what they were.
okay,
What was the
there's only
68% about?
no
For
there's
those
out
tuning
out
in
of
too.
out of yeah out of every 100 women, there's only 68 black men available for every 100 women. So which means then that 68 are hooked up and 32 are not. Okay, and what we're saying that that is almost half of the women that would not have a man if these statistics are true. That
Okay.
almost half of these women would not have a man if they didn't
Okay.
have multiple mates or man share or mate share, if you want to call it, because it might be man,
So
woman,
I'm
or in
definitely in
between.
the 32. I'm
Definitely.
definitely in the 32.
Okay. Now, out
Yeah.
of that 32,
By
you know,
choice. By choice.
I know where you were. You obviously by choice, and can't nobody force you into it, Lavender, right? Or can they?
Yeah, but some are in that 32% because they can't,
Okay,
they
I hear you
just
saying.
haven't
Okay,
found.
I hear you. Well, but that's what I'm saying now. That's you. You making my point for me. You saying that you would stay in that 32% before you jump over in that 68 because you know those
No, I
68 are
didn't.
filled. No,
Okay.
what are you saying?
I got you.
Yeah, okay. That because you choose not to go in the
But you know
68.
what?
Okay,
As
you
time
30 other
changes,
women.
life changes you,
Okay, how so? When you say the how so,
right?
things change
Because
over
I've,
time
I've
now.
yeah, yeah. So I don't have to bet the same percentage all of my life. If you've been married once, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, why do I need to do it again? I want to experience what I'm experiencing now. I enjoy being free,
Okay.
coming and
Well,
going when I
so
want to. I've done all that other stuff before, that commitment thing. I'm good.
well, I get that. I can understand it
Like
because
you
when
were
you was
saying, like even with the time, what you were saying about, we can go to the half hour, whatever. I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, no, we can't. You said, you know what? 'Cause I said, I'm sorry. I'm so past that. Nobody tells me what to do. I do what I want to do. I will leave you on the air by yourself when I'm ready to go. You want to? Well, shoot, we didn't talk most of it away anyway. But I know who I am, Vernon, and most men would not be able. I'm not going to say be able to handle me, but they wouldn't want to deal with me. You know, my mouth is too much for a lot of men. I'm not going to listen. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm sorry, I am who I am, and I enjoy using my voice. I enjoy being who I am. A man come into my life, say I fall in love, lose my mind, and the first minute he asks me, "Where are you going?" or what? Excuse me? You talking to me?
Okay.
Gotta
All right.
go.
That's the not the representative. When you were married, then what I'm hearing you saying is that you sent your
Oh, I was
representative.
a submissive something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
No,
sent your representative. So this is not the representative, right? So,
I
but your
don't know
representative
the
not.
reference. That's who I was then. That's who I
Okay.
was. I have
Mm.
evolved into the woman I am
Ah.
today. I believed in being submissive. I believed in breakfast, lunch, dinner on the table. I believe in taking care of a man. I was a good Christian wife. Yeah, but you know what? Behind every hard ass woman is a young woman who was pissed on, disrespected. You know, we don't just like this. It's
So it's evolved. Okay.
disrespectful men who don't know how to appreciate a good
Okay.
woman. Most men don't know how to appreciate that. They can say they do, but they
Yeah.
really
No,
don't. They
I agree with you on
don't.
that.
And it's
I agree with you on
bad.
that. But you know what, Lavender? You said some powerful stuff here. Okay, that I hadn't thought about. Do you think that contribute to the image of a mad black woman? Because men have dogged women out. They have dogged women out so bad
I'm not a
that it
mad black
resulted in.
woman.
I know that,
No, I'm
but
not a
let me.
mad black woman.
Okay, let me tell you. Let me tell you this about that. Okay, I called one time. This is a joke now. Okay, I went some one time. Uh, I called this woman. Said, "You a hoe?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, you sure got. You might not be a hoe, but you sure got some whorish ways." Okay, so you might not be a mad black woman, but you got some mad black woman ways.
See, that is your perception of me expressing myself. I'd be a mad black woman because I'm expressing my views that you obviously don't agree with. I'm not passive enough. I'm not
Okay,
forgiving enough. I don't listen. She got too much mouth on her. Need to break her down a notch or two. That's something out the color purple. Uh-uh. Color me purple, color me black. I color the walls in my house. Nobody is just going to tell me anything. So if I gotta have that mad black woman
how
stigma, so be
how
it.
do you
I'm out.
how do you account from being that very passive submissive woman to becoming a mad black woman? Okay, I left unfair. Okay, let me not call
I'm
you a
for one,
mad black
I'm not
woman.
a mad black
Let's say
woman.
the well, okay, from a very submissive woman to a very aggressive woman. What accounts for that? What happened
I
in
enjoy
is
being married. I I enjoy being married. I'm a natural. Most women are nurturers anyway. I
yeah.
love nurturing my man. I love taking care of my man. I loved being married. Life happened. I think I always had a mouth because I remember when I was younger, I was in junior high, high school. My mother used to literally pull my lips because I would just talk back. I would talk so much. You know, she literally pulled my lips because I didn't know how to shut up. So I've always had that voice, but
Mhm.
I probably never felt comfortable using my voice or felt comfortable in my skin being who I am because of the whole idea of the other woman. being silenced, being suppressed, not being able to use my voice, not being free to be me. I'm free to be me now. There's nothing holding me back, but our upbringing, our religion, the society's standards, all of that can make a woman act like she's supposed to act. Be a lady. Don't sit like that. Don't talk too loud. Use your indoor voice. When can I unleash me? When can I be mad Black woman? So be it. This mad Black woman is going to empower other women through the Other Woman magazine to use your and live your life unapologetically. Screw or what anybody else says, because they're probably miserable in their own life and they just don't have the courage to live the life they want to live. So I refuse to live my life according to somebody else's standards. Who will I have to be? So when I'm in my casket, who was she? She didn't know who she was. I don't want to die with any words. I'm gonna use all my words.
Well, can you understand why people would think that though? If you went into, I bet you, the man that you married, their husband, won't know the same woman today that he knew back when y'all.
Oh, he knows this woman. He knows this woman. He knows this woman.
You didn't show him that woman when during those 20 years, if you will. Okay.
Oh yes, I did. I did.
Let me ask you this question. When you went in, I'm just trying to understand, when you went into that relationship, was there a certain level of expectation that you're supposed to be? You think one of the unwritten rules that you're supposed to be submissive and passive and that kind of stuff? The reason you played that role, the real you is who you are right now. So why did you do that?
That was one of the main arguments. That was one of our main, let me say, disagreement. Is that is the role playing of a wife. He just believed that I was supposed to be that submissive wife, that I was supposed to cook, that I was supposed to clean.
But yet you did.
Them, not because I'm supposed to do them.
But
I did them. I was a Christian wife, right? Then, Vernon. What is so difficult to understand about that? I was a Christian wife. That's what
Christian wives supposed to do.
I feel that role.
Okay.
Yes.
I hear you. I'm just trying to understand.
Yes.
I'm just trying to understand why.
I had sex when I didn't want to have sex. Submissive wives do that shit. Do that stuff.
Okay.
We gotta please the man.
Yeah. And he got to please his woman.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it. What did you say? I missed that. Maybe I wasn't supposed to hear it because you laughing too hard. I didn't hear that. Don't even repeat it. I don't even want to know.
No, I'm just saying you just have to please the man. Oh, funny. I think you supposed to. Okay. I get you. Okay. But I'm just trying to understand, my theory about who you are and where you were when. I'm just trying to understand that woman that he married wasn't the woman that I'm looking at on the stream today. Okay. And
I was, Vernon. He has seen all of this. He has heard all. He knows who I am. I was married to the man for 20 years.
So he still he saw those red flags.
I've always had this. He had to. Am I going to have to fight tonight because my mouth? If we were out somewhere and somebody did something I didn't like or whatever, I'd have a problem speaking up. Whatever I needed to do, and he would all do. Am I going to have to fight for you? You got to fight for me. I fight for. So this has always been me, but I was still that submissive wife. But I still talked. You know what I'm saying? I was still who I am. I'm free now. I don't have anybody to try to check me. I don't have anybody trying to tame me. I was born.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you this question then? Because let's look at the reversal of the roles. Okay, when you did
Okay.
he meet your expectation in the role
Why am I
of
on the
where
stand? Why am
because
I
you're the
on
only
the
woman
stand?
you don't
Why am I
on the
being
phone
interviewed?
because you the only one here. Ain't got nobody else to ask. Nobody else. No, I
Okay, well,
can ask
next
Cedric.
Wednesday we put
Cedric. Let me talk to Cedric Studio over here.
don't
Cedric
curse
Studio.
within
No, I'm just trying to
it.
understand why. I'm a curious person. I'm trying to understand why people do what they do. Okay, and
Okay.
I think I got a feel for what you went through, and I don't blame you. I mean, everybody got their point, their breaking point, and you did your job in the relationship until it just wasn't working for
Uh-huh.
you no more. I think everybody can understand and appreciate that. That's not that's should be a no brainer for you. Okay, so but at any rate, um, we really gonna have to wrap it up now, Lavinda, because we're getting down to the real nitty gritty of it though. But the going back to what we said, what we started off with about multiple multiple mates, and like I said, we
Mates.
mates, yeah, multiple mates, and
Topic of
why
your
people,
choice.
yeah, why people have, well, it's reality, and you always have to understand the psychology, but I guess the psychology behind why people do certain things, why. But I was trying to give a rationale for what I think might be the reason. Might not be the real reason, it might not be the right reasons, but there are reasons, and I think one of the main reasons for that is the what we call the shortage of men and the abundance of women, in particular in the black community. But black women, like I started off earlier, the statistics I read, by out of every 100 white women out there, there are at least 90 black white men. But for every 100 black women, there's only about 68 men available. Like you said, now we got to qualify the available men. It might be men out there, but even total numbers even don't add up. The total numbers, the good men, the men's in jails, and all that kind of stuff, it still don't add up to the number of available women. And so, therefore,
Mhm.
somebody is going to be shortchanged, or somebody going to be without a mate if it wasn't for that philosophy of that concept, if you will, multiple mates. And like I say, for very reason, people may not agree with it. People may think it's immoral, and everybody has their reasons for whatever they believe about that. But the fact of it is, and the fact that it exists, and when it exists, and people don't like to talk about it sometimes, but it's just things
Yeah.
that we have to deal with, and that's why we got this show here. We can, at least we can talk about it. If we can't do anything about it or offer much solutions, but it's there. Let's talk about it. Okay, you go ahead, Lavenda. I know you're trying to get
Yeah.
in
And
there.
you know what? And it's sad. It's sad because when I worked in the jail, the number of black men there, when I think about it, is just
Yeah,
packed
just right,
with men. Of course, the majority are black men. I
right.
remember the first time one asked me if I would if I would be their sugar mama. I'm like, what the hell is a sugar mama? But men, there are some good men in jail. Everybody in jail is not a bad person. Some people
Hmm.
just get caught up or in the wrong place at the wrong time or make mistakes or bad choices. But that's why I say there's not a shortage of men, maybe available men, or sometimes you have to, I don't want to say lower your standards, but maybe take some things off of that list that women have, what they
Yeah,
want in a man. Or are you willing to stand by a
do
man
that
who
right.
needs some help being built up, or till he gets himself together? Do you want one that's already polished and ready to
Yeah,
go with
yeah,
his representative? And we use that word representative. Somebody may not know what we're talking about. Representative is a person that you use when you first meet someone. You don't send yourself, you don't go as yourself. You're sending your representative, who you want that person to think you are, then yeah, when the mask comes off, the true you comes. But everybody has a representative. But it's just putting your best foot forward. Okay,
Yeah.
it's 10:35.
All right.
I let
It's
you
time.
have your way. Don't think you talked me into this. I let you have your way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
It's time
that.
to go.
All right, sugar. Well,
Okay, so
we
want everybody to like WBQP TV on YouTube,
right.
correct?
And
WBQP
subscribe.
TV. Is that how it's listed?
Yeah,
And subscribe.
Watching WBQP TV. Please subscribe. It don't cost anything. Just hit
On
that little red
YouTube.
button. You're not obligated for anything, and it just helps us with the analytics, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay, Lavenda, you got anything
And
else?
like the other woman magazine also. Okay. Thank you. Shedrick Studio says she enjoyed you too. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you,
Tell Mama
Shedrick
them.
Deborah,
Tell
for
Mama
your
them
comments.
I said,
Thank
hey.
you, Larry Howard. Deborah, he said, he said. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. And will we be back next Wednesday, Vernon?
Yeah, I hope so. If the creek doesn't rise.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, sugar. Thank you very much. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week on another edition of what do we got? The Wind Down Wednesday. Okay.
Wind Down Wednesday. Bye-bye.